guys, RC Peck here with Ask RC, and the question I have is, what's my performance? Now, so no one is disappointed. I'm not actually going to tell you my performance, and that's part of this question. So in my 2+ decades of working with people, I've noticed something very, very clearly. Someone who comes in and asks, what's your performance? What was your weekly performance? What was your monthly performance? I want to know it this way. I want to know it that way. What I've noticed over time is that person doesn't actually know what they're looking for, right? Because it doesn't matter the number you give them. And I've tested this out over the years. I've always given the correct number, but once you give that number, then they're like, well, it may not be that in the future, or it could be a different thing in the future. Do you see that? They don't know what they're really looking for. They don't know the right performance number. So if you know someone like that, just notice that it's not about my performance. Now look, I run a training company. My training company teaches people to get better performance from their money, to take back control of their finances and their investing and their portfolio and their financial life. But here's the thing. The question is, what's your performance? And this is what I've noticed in coaching adult humans over 2 decades. Many people are not willing to look at their own performance. They don't want to know how they've done across the board. They want to know how other people have done, how their new financial planner or their new money manager or the new newsletter or the new research or the new whatever. They want to know those numbers. And I get it. Okay, that's normal. But here is what is more important. You have to start. First of all, you don't have to do anything. If you want to grow your money better, all right, honestly, you really want to, you're eager to, you're open to growing your money better. That is going to be extremely difficult to do if you don't know where you're coming from. Like, you need to understand where you're coming from. And this is not like a me pointing at you video, but I want you to understand, for people who figure out how to grow their money better and safely accelerate it, one of the first things I ask them to do is, tell me what your performance has been. Not one symbol, not putting 0.2% of your $2 million in Bitcoin in 2017 for 3 months and making 300% on that one thing with almost no money in it, but I mean your overall portfolio. And this is something people don't want to do, guys. This is a piece of information that scares them. And so the way the human brain works, like, think about this. You own a lot of different ticker symbols. One of them is going to do well. And of course, that's the one you tell everyone about, but it doesn't change the tides of your future. It doesn't really help your future. It's actually a distraction, right? Because if 99% of your money is in cash, and 1% of your money is in a symbol that's up 200%, it doesn't change the course of your life in a positive way. In fact, it hurts your life because it is a huge distraction. While you think behaviorally or emotionally, you feel like you're doing great and you're crushing it, 99% of your money is doing nothing. And 1%, even if it's up 300%, is going to do nothing to your future. Right? So think about this. People who come in, if someone is coming into my training and they're running a 20-minute mile, right? So they're running a 20-minute mile. Just let's say people hire me to run better or to run faster or to be stronger. So one of the first things a running coach wants to know is what you're already running at, because a good coach is not going to expect you to do a 7-minute mile or a 6-minute mile if you're coming in at a 20-minute mile and you are 100 pounds overweight. So someone who's coming in and asking, what's your performance? What I always ask first is, my performance doesn't matter. What matters is, can I make your performance better? It's the same thing if you hire a financial advisor. Can they do a better job than you? And most people find out they can't even beat the S&P 500 with dividends reinvested. They can't even beat an unmanaged index. So kind of, what's the point? And so when you look for research services or newsletters or anything, the place you want to start first, the place I suggest you start first, is go back and look. Most brokerage houses, they keep all data for 7 years. So at a minimum, you can look at what you've owned for 7 years and you can look at your annual performance. Now, this can take some work, right? Because if you have an IRA over here and a 403b over there and a 401k over here and a 457 over there and a Roth IRA and a brokerage and they're all over the place, it's going to take you a little bit to actually figure out what your annual performance is for all of your money, not just one account, not just for one symbol in one account. This due diligence is due diligence that when people are doing it, first of all, it never feels good. You're not high-fiving, right? Almost always there's probably bad news that's coming up. But what it does is it makes you really aware and consciously competent about what you're doing, right? I mean, think about this. If you hire a dietitian, he or she is probably going to ask you to write down what you eat. Now, they wouldn't ask you what you eat in the past. First of all, the brain does not remember. The brain does not remember what it did yesterday, let alone last week, last month, last year. And this is true. I had a client once where she absolutely swore on her life that she had never bought a position and sold a position in one day, called day trading. I said, okay, that's fine, but let's look at your trades. So she did about 85 trades in one calendar year. And there were 5 instances, so 10 trades, where she day traded in a day. But she never knew that because she never looked back. And what she noticed was the shorter amount she owned something, the more she lost, right? The faster she was trading, the more she lost. And the reason why a lot of people are attracted to day trading is because they've been taught to be scared. Right? They've been taught maybe even as a little kid to have this control over controlling everything and getting in and getting out and not, I just got to be in control. I'm not making light of day traders, okay? What I'm saying is the probability of people growing money greatly increases, right? The longer you hold it. And there's a time of diminishing returns, right? So there's a point where if you hold it forever, there probably would have been a better, shorter time to hold it. But just think of the two extremes of holding. And we're still on what's my performance, right? There's the hold it for a day, and then there's a hold it for 50 years, right? So there's probably somewhere in there that's a better hold time. So if you do notice yourself going around and saying, what's their performance? What's their performance? What's their performance? You're wasting time. And I can say, start with sitting down, getting all of your accounts in one place, looking at them from January 1st to December 31st of every year for the past 5 or 10 years, and looking, take out what you put in, right? So if you're putting in $1,500 a month to your 401k, those contributions, you need to subtract that from performance. But you can just call a Schwab or TD Ameritrade or Fidelity where your money is and say, I'd like to know what my annual performance is, assuming all of your accounts are there. This one thing is a game changer for people because then you're going to learn what your number actually is, right? And so let's say you in your brain just thought you were doing 10% a year and all over the place you're looking for a place to grow your money at 20. But if you're really growing your money at 4% a year, then you need to understand that that's your baseline to then move it from 4 maybe to 8%, right? But moving it from 4 to 20 is like taking someone running a 20-minute mile and making them run or having them run a 6-minute mile within a month. It's just not going to work. I hope you like this, guys. I think this may trigger some people or may feel too weak, but again, in my 2 decades of working and training and coaching people to grow their money better, what I've noticed is the people who actually grow their money better are the ones who are willing to look back. Same thing with diet. What do you eat? Look back. How do you work out? Look back. To look back and go, okay, what have I been doing? And the great thing about investing is the custodians, the brokerage houses, they have all the data for you. You can go back and look. Your 401k has all the data, especially if you've been with the same company. So what's my performance? That's what I want you to ask yourself. What is your performance? Start there. And then from there, say, how can I grow that better? How can I do better with my money? Right? Because then you can start to look and go, oh my gosh, when I day trade, I lose money. When I do buy and forget, I lose money. There's probably a frequency in there that works. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time watching this. Please let me know what questions you have that come up from this. I read all the comments. Also, to go ahead and hit the like button if you find this of value. Thanks so much, guys, for being my world, and I will see you in the next video. All right, thanks so much. Bye. Hey guys, if you liked this video, you're absolutely gonna love our trading service. And if you've tried trading before and it hasn't worked or you've struggled, it's because you're making one of 7 mistakes, I guarantee it. And after the click, I'm gonna show you exactly what those 7 mistakes are. All right, I'll see you there.